Welcome back to the Cyber Laboratory. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Consider this explainer your official mission briefing on the foundational first phase of literally any cybersecurity assessment or ethical hacking engagement. Because before any digital locks are picked or firewalls are breached, there is a totally crucial, systematic process of gathering intelligence. Today, we're mastering footprinting and reconnaissance. We're going to learn exactly how to map an external attack surface and unearth potential security vulnerabilities way before active exploitation even begins. It's all about seeing exactly what the target leaves exposed. Okay, let's dive into this. Here are the mission parameters initializing on our holographic HUD. 1. The reconnaissance blueprint. 2. Passive OSINT and WHOIS. 3. Mapping network infrastructure. 4. Active probing and scanning. And 5. Defense and mitigation strategies.
Section 1. The reconnaissance blueprint.
Right, so before we start casing the joint, so to speak, we really need to set the ground rules and understand exactly what we're trying to achieve here. Footprinting is the systematic collection of intelligence about a target organization, network, or application. What's the goal? Well, it's to map out its external attack surface and identify infrastructure boundaries and vulnerabilities long before any active exploitation actually happens. Mastering these techniques doesn't just make you a better ethical hacker, it's absolutely crucial because it allows security professionals to preemptively remediate exposed data, like misconfigured DNS records or leaked credentials, before the bad guys even find them.
Now, we've got to draw a hard line between the two primary categories of our intelligence gathering: passive versus active reconnaissance. Passive reconnaissance means gathering publicly available OSINT, that's open source intelligence, without ever directly interacting with the target systems. You are basically a ghost, looking at what's already out there, creating zero target logs. Active reconnaissance, on the other hand, that means you're directly probing or scanning the target's infrastructure. When you go active, you generate network logs on the target servers. They can absolutely see you looking at them. This builds into a step-by-step technical blueprint for enterprise reconnaissance. Step 1 is passive intelligence and WHOIS analysis. Step 2 is automated subdomain enumeration and certificate inspection. Step 3 is where we use search engine hacking, or Google Dorking, to identify exposed assets. And finally, Step 4 escalates to web technology profiling and active scanning. Think of this as your visual roadmap of how an attacker systematically escalates their approach, step by deliberate step.
Section 2. Passive OSINT and WHOIS.
So we're starting off completely invisible here, gathering intelligence from, down the street, using public records and metadata. We can aggregate crucial target entity boundaries just by running a simple WIS terminal command against registrar and regional internet registry databases. ICANN's RDAP, or Registration Data Access Protocol, has stepped in to replace legacy WIS, giving us real-time, current domain registration data. Then we've got AIRN, the American Registry for Internet Numbers, which helps us map out IPv4, IPv6, and Autonomous System Numbers, or ASNs, assigned to entities in North America. For global mapping, we look to databases like RIPE. By combining these, you can effortlessly identify the exact IP address ranges assigned to your target entity.
Once we know who owns why, we look for what they've left behind. Take a look at this quote about a tool called ExifTool. It's known on tech forums as the mother of all EXIF utilities and the BFG of metadata extraction. And yes, for the gamers tuning in, BFG means exactly what you think it means. ExifTool is this massively powerful, platform-independent Perl library and command line application. With it, we can extract hidden EXIF metadata from exposed PDFs, Word docs, and images. I'm talking about unearthing hidden author names, GPS data, document properties, and even internal software versions, all without touching the target's actual network. It's basically digital forensics magic, minus the wand.
But hey, passive OSINT isn't just about technical metadata, right? It also includes human intelligence. Platforms like Intel 471 track threat groups not just from the outside, but by directly engaging actors in closed criminal communities. They extract adversary tradecraft right at the source to map out pre-attack intelligence. This is a great reminder that understanding adversary intent and behavior before an attack even surfaces is a huge part of the reconnaissance landscape.
Section 3. Mapping network infrastructure.
Let's escalate the tension a bit and move closer to the target's digital perimeter. We can harness specific terminal tools to reveal unlinked subdomains and forgotten staging environments.
Subfinder is this incredibly fast tool designed for one thing: passive subdomain enumeration using various online sources. OWASP and MOS provides in-depth attack surface mapping, even giving us a database to store our findings. And CRT.sh allows us to query passive certificate transparency logs. And this brilliantly illustrates how combining these specific tools just by firing off a few simple terminal commands lets you unearth development servers and backup portals that the target thought were totally hidden from the public eye. As we look at DNS footprinting, we've got to talk about RFC 5936, the standard for AXFR or DNS zone transfers. Now, AXFR is a protocol mechanism meant for legitimate zone synchronization. It basically enables a set of DNS name servers to maintain coherence. However, if a DNS server is misconfigured, a simple dig AXFR request from literally anyone will be accepted. This allows an attacker to extract the complete internal subdomain mapping of the target in one single request. It's the absolute holy grail of network mapping just handed over on a silver platter.
We also rely heavily on threat intelligence and asset discovery platforms like Census and Shodan. These are effectively the search engines for the Internet of Everything. They continuously crawl the global internet, indexing running services, open database ports, and unpatched web servers. Because Census and Shodan have already done the heavy lifting of scanning, analysts can use them to discover exposed power plants, IoT devices, and cloud assets belonging to the target, completely passively. You get all the intelligence without ever sending a single packet of direct traffic to the target yourself.
To put that into perspective and emphasize the sheer scale and importance of this data, take a look at this number: 89%. According to their data, 89% of the Fortune 100 rely on Shodan to monitor their exposed services and track their internet-connected devices. The intelligence gathered by these platforms is enterprise-grade and absolutely critical to modern security operations. Section 4. Active probing and scanning.
All right, tone shift here. We are going on high alert, and we're finally knocking on the target's doors. When we go active, Nmap is the definitive tool. By utilizing specific flags for stealth SYN scans and version detection, this open source utility sends structured raw IP packets to determine what hosts are available. It maps open ports, identifies running services, and captures service version banners so we know exactly what software versions the target is actually running. But remember, this phase will generate logs on the target. If they have a modern SOC, a security operations center, they're going to see these probes for sure.
When Nmap scans a target, it returns a table of interesting ports categorized into 4 critical states. Open means an application on the target machine is actively listening for connections. Filtered means a firewall or some network obstacle is blocking the port, so Nmap can't even tell if it's open or closed. Closed ports have no application listening, though they are accessible. And finally, unfiltered ports are responsive to Nmap's probes, but their exact state is undetermined. Mapping these states tells us exactly where the target's internal defenses are deployed.
Section 5. Defense and mitigation strategies.
Okay, let's flip the script. We've seen how attackers gather intel, so how do we actually defend against it? So the crucial point is this highly actionable mitigation blueprint derived directly from our footprinting exercises. First, enforce WHOIS privacy protection across all public domain registrations so attackers can't easily map your organizational structure. Second, absolutely disable DNS AXFR zone transfers on all external-facing servers to stop attackers from just downloading your entire DNS zone file. Third, you must continuously monitor your external exposure using attack surface management platforms to find the assets you didn't even know you had exposed. And finally, rigorously scrub and remediate exposed metadata in all public documents before they are ever published. We have covered a ton of ground today, from passive OSINT gathering all the way to active Nmap scanning, and of course, how to defend against them. I want to leave you with one final provocative question to think about as you review your own systems. What does the internet already know about your infrastructure? The tools to find out are out there right now, and I highly encourage you to use them to secure your perimeter today. Thanks so much for joining me in this explainer, and keep learning.